Hello and welcome. Why is it that we sometimes feel like we are in a state of bliss, feeling good and wonderful, and a few hours later we are down, feeling miserable? Have you thought of that? Why is it that some people seem to be enjoying themselves all the time and they always seem happy and worry-free? Why can't I be the same? Well, we can and we will. The simple truth, and I'll go straight to the point, there are two in you. Yes, you have two consciousnesses inside of you. These two vibratory states affect immensely how we react to and experiment the world around us, and ultimately our reality. Everything is subject to our way of perceiving the world, and that perception starts with that vibration state we are in. These two states we speak of are our ego consciousness and our spirit consciousness. And we are constantly switching between the vibrations of one or the other. But how do we recognize the difference between one and the other? And then more important, how do we choose at our will the vibration we will act upon? The ego is easy to recognize. It occupies most of our attention. The ego is always talking. It rarely shuts up. The ego wants this until you get it. Then the ego doesn't want this anymore. It wants that. And when you get that, it will want something else. Because the ego is not about this or that. It is about the want. Our spirit consciousness is subtle and quiet. It knows its own power. It is the state you are when you feel blissful, full of love and worry-free. It usually aligns to our whole self when we do activities that we enjoy with passion. For the religious community, it is that feeling when you are worshiping and suddenly the world fades away. But this state of being is not exclusive to the religious community. We all align to it with different activities. For some, it is watching or playing sports. For me particularly, it is playing the piano or cooking. When I'm cooking, I go into this trance-like state of vibration that feels like love itself. For others, it might be building something, working out, playing with your pets, or playing with your kids. This activity can vary from person to person, but the feeling is the same. It is connection with the divine. Athletes call it being in the zone. In this state of awareness, all is good. There are no worries. Love is the natural feeling here. And here comes the ugly part, the truth that we don't want to hear. All our wars, all the corruption, all confrontation, poverty, despair, hatred, fights, fear, infidelity, they all are our reactions when we vibrate in the ego level. If we choose to vibrate in our spirit level, there is only love and prosperity and abundance. It is a place of constant joy. It is the only safe place. So here are some ways in which we can nurture and vibrate in our spirit consciousness. First, the most useful way is to practice silence. Start with a few minutes a day and do it regularly. Some of you might call it meditation. Some of you might call it praying. Instead of thinking, listen. If you are religious, instead of praying and asking, say thanks and receive. Listen to yourself. Listen to your breath. Listen to your heart. Observe yourself. See how your body is doing. Describe it in your mind. This is very useful, especially when you get angry. When we lose our temper and before we react or say something full of hatred, slow down and watch and listen to yourself. At some point, you will notice that there are two in this equation. The one who is being observed, who is all angry, and the one who is observing. You will notice that the observer is not so angry. In fact, You will notice a peace when you recognize both vibrations inside of you. This peace is your indicator that you are vibrating at the spirit level. This is your birthright. This is your divine nature. This is God in you. My invitation to you is to think about this, to practice this silence and start to recognize the two in you, and start giving more importance, more attention and presence to that spirit voice inside of you. Together with the other principles in this series will no doubt lead you into a life filled with joy. I am Reverend Tuto, and I thank you for joining me in this series called A Life of Joy. This is my wish for us all. Until next time, Namaste.